Beware the Batman is a CG show, and some people are kind of like, I don't know how I feel about how it looks, and I'm kind of in the same boat as them, okay? It uses the same aesthetic as Green Lantern did. The only difference is, well, it's Batman. Not that I'm not a fan of Green Lantern, it's just the CGI wasn't to my liking. Now, that show was actually very colorful, though, where in contrast, Beware the Batman is, well, not. This is a very gritty, realistic, dark-toned Batman world, and the CGI reflects that. In fact, the opening episode, we see Batman in the alleyways of Gotham, and it has this very dark overtones all over the place. You see smoke rising and shadows on the walls and very bland, dull colors. I'm sorry, what do you want from me? That's the show. The show is going to have so many locations that are very bleh. Beware the Batman, it's an okay show. I don't hate it, actually. I watched the first episode and I was definitely pulled into the world. But I don't believe the show deserves to be on Saturday morning. This is a primetime show, and they should try to run this and sell it as a primetime show because it piqued my interest at the get-go. You had Batman in an alleyway fighting thugs, and he actually gets hurt, which is something we haven't seen since the animated series, where that Batman was also a flesh and blood character that the viewer could relate to because he didn't have armor. He just wore, like, loose clothing and had a cape, you know. Anybody could do that. Well, unless you didn't have ninja training and zillions of dollars and fancy gadgets. But aside from that, he was a character that we could envision ourselves as, and Beware the Batman is really no different. This isn't a brave and the bold, godlike Batman that can leap tall buildings and use super gadgets, have a Batmobile that turns into a Transformer, and explore every aspect of the galaxy and have buddy cop episodes with his friends in colorful environments. That pretty much sums up what Batman Brave and the Bold was, and it was a very lighthearted show, and I kind of started to dig that approach, but I still really didn't like it over the 2004 Batman series, and of course, Batman Beyond, which was just, that's how you really make an interesting Batman show. But getting back to Beware the Batman, one of the very unique things about this series is they're not going to go and pick and pull the different rogues gallery. You won't be seeing the Joker right away, Two-Face, Penguin, and you won't even really be seeing Dick Grayson or Barbara Gordon. Though Commissioner Gordon did make a cameo in the first episode, he was Lieutenant Gordon. There will be some rogues that you may know. Anarky is actually going to be the main antagonist of this series. He's going to take the role of Joker and some of the other characters like Penguin did in the 2004 series. And he is very similar to his 80s comic book incarnation. He's going to be a very tough character for Batman to fight, and it also looks like from the reveal trailer of the series, he's going to have gadgets that kind of counteract Batman stuff. So it's going to be a very interesting dynamic between the two characters. Ra's al Ghul will also be in the show, as I found out from some of the people that work on the series or do PR or whatever, though they really didn't tell me what his role in the series would be or when he would be revealed. But I'm guessing he's going to be an eco-terrorist, because that's what he does. In fact, they have an eco-terrorist in this show. It is Professor Pyg and Mr. Frog, whom some of you may recognize from Grant Morrison's Dick Grayson Batman run. And he was actually a character I never thought I would see on TV, because if you read the comics, that guy was pretty gruesome. I mean, this was a new Batman villain that was introduced, and one that I was like, yeah, like this guy's ever gonna make it in a movie. I mean, how do you tone down somebody this sinister and gruesome? And they kind of nailed it right off the bat with the pilot episode, Hunted. Now, what the episode entails is Professor Pyg is trying to capture the different billionaires in Gotham. You have Simon Stagg and that other Michael character, whom I think was actually in the animated series. I can't remember. But they're collecting these guys because their companies have done horrible things to the animals in Gotham before Gotham was founded. So Professor Pyg is going after these people, and in the fashion of an English gentleman, he's going to hunt them like a fox hunt, except it's a people hunt. Now, one of the very interesting elements of this series that I kind of touched upon before is Batman is a flesh and blood character in this. So he really does get hurt. I mean, he has his arm broken during a fight at the beginning by this kind of a super-powered Bane-type thug, except he's using kind of what's the cybernetics, I believe it's what it is. It's like superpowers that you buy. You throw something at Batman and it breaks his arm right here. He's all like messed up, and Batman's kind of like, "Argh," you know, he doesn't care. Goes up to the armored truck and he goes, well, bam! He just pops his arm back in the socket. And they actually showed it on TV, and I'm just thinking, how did they do that? Because they haven't even done this in cinema yet. This is something that's taken right out of the comics and has been put right into a Saturday morning children's show. And that alone, I was just kind of like dumbfounded. It's like, how can you do that? But anyway, they did that. And there's another element where Batman actually gets really beat up from this car accident. And at first I was thinking, oh, they pulled a Brave and the Bold here. Batman's like, I got in this nasty car accident, my car's totaled, but I'm fine. Nope, he passes out after a few minutes, and it's like, realism! Probably one of the most exciting things about Beware the Batman for me is they actually are putting a focus on the detective elements. Now, this is something we have not seen since Batman the Animated Series. You know what I do like about these different Batman shows that happen all the time the past 20 years is when somebody else comes to the project, they take characters that you know and love and they twist them or they tweak them and they do things a little bit different than you're expecting. Take Alfred, for instance. In this, he is an awesome ninja vigilante CIA dude. In fact, the teaser, we had a gun-toting Alfred. And I still remember I was like, you can't give Alfred guns. But yeah, Alfred, it doesn't look like he is a gun-toting Alfred. In this series, he's more like martial arts ninja meets Vin Diesel and that guy who's playing Bond currently. That's how I would sum up what Alfred is. He's kind of thuggish and cool, but he's not like the Alfred that we know and love. I was hoping for more of a maybe Michael Caine Alfred that could kick butt, and not so much Vin Diesel. But what can you do? Alfred has a very interesting role in this. He's kind of trying to be like Batman's sidekick, and Batman's like, no, I work alone. I don't want to work with you. In reality, he's thinking, I don't want this old guy following me around. What will the girls think? You know, having this old dude in the Batmobile be like, this is my butler. But I have to say, all nitpicking aside, it was a very good pilot. There's been some pilots for different Batman shows that I was kind of like, turned off right away. Brave and the Bold. That I really had to go through and watch more of the series before I came to the conclusion, okay, I'm going to watch this. But I have to say, I'm impressed. It is very viewable. I actually went and paid $3 on Amazon Prime so that I could personally own this episode, because there's no way I'm getting up at 10 a.m. on a Saturday. And Cartoon Network, in all honesty, this show is best for primetime. It really is. I feel that there are some elements in this episode that were way, way over little kids' heads. And even some adults were kind of like, whoa, this is deep stuff. You have Professor Pyg, who's this really, really sinister comic book character. I mean, Grant Morrison made this guy crazy. And you toned him down and made him a little funny with Mr. Frog or whatever, but there's still some stuff in here that was pretty wow. Especially having the dude's heads through the animal things on the wall. That was a little disturbing. The doctor metaphors, the death traps, it was just like, wow. It would have made a great primetime thing, but debuting on Saturday, I don't agree with that. Other than that, I like the episode. I'm going to continue watching the series. And actually, I look forward to where the folks behind Batman Beyond and Mystery Incorporated Scooby-Doo will take Beware the Batman. Next week is the brand new episode this Saturday with Magpie. Although the funny thing is, she's actually being voiced by the Catwoman person from Arkham City. And Magpie is supposed to be like this great thief with some metahuman powers. So I'm kind of interested to see how that episode's going to play out. And that is going to do it with my impromptu review off the top of my head. If you like this video and like the kind of more relaxed feel with some clips every once in a while, leave a like and comment, because it really, really does help me a lot. And I feel a little bit more relaxed doing this. You know, it's not scripted and I have to be like, oh man, this has to be perfect. And I'll be back next week with a review of the next episode of Beware the Batman. Till then, see ya.